Welcome to the Reach In, Reach Out podcast, a proud production of Engage Cooperative.
Today we're talking about the most stressed out population within the United States, moms, and the support networks that they may or may not have.
My daughter, when I adopted her, her mother was very, very young when she had her. And so when she came into care, there was a lot of abuse. And I really believe that had her mother had the support system put into place so she wasn't stressed out, my daughter wouldn't have been harmed in the ways that she was.
Demographically speaking, single moms in the U.S. are the most stressed out population out of anybody. Obviously, there's a problem here that we need to solve, and this is our best attempt. This is Reach In, Reach Out. I'm your host, Logan Roselle, bringing you some of Pierce County's core problems, supported by the words of people in your community. Today, we bring you a dire circumstance. Moms in Pierce County, Washington, are just stressed out. With just under 10% of our populations being moms, this problem needs to be fixed now. But first, let's figure out where the issues come from. Between taking care of kids, doing housework, working, and managing schedules, there's a lot of work to go around for our moms. In fact, the average mom will work 98 hours in a week, which is just a little bit too much for anybody to fit into their schedule. Here's what some people in Pierce County have to say.
My name is Carolyn Olsen, and I am a librarian at Bethel High School.
My name is Katherine Schultz-Wetherington, and I am the Cambridge coordinator, and I teach literature and English in the Cambridge program. I try to decide what's the most important thing that needs to be done to make the family work. Obviously, that includes going to work so that you can pay the bills.
I really try hard to leave work at work and keep my home stuff at home. And then we're all on a calendar, like a schedule at home. And so I try not to overlap on that while giving us like downtime as well. So we're a pretty busy family, like everybody has their own thing going on, but I try to make sure that we have like downtime as a family during the day to unwind.
Most moms will stick to a 40-hour work week, but let's break down where all the extra work comes from. When you take into account 8 hours for housework, 10 hours for cooking and cleaning the dishes, and 40 hours for taking care of children's health, these extra hours start to add up. In fact, the extra times that moms spend working for their kids and at home would be worth about $67,000 per year for something that almost all moms do for free. All of a sudden, all that free time moms had before is gone. In total, the average mom will only get an hour and 7 minutes to herself every day. Nowhere near enough time to de-stress from their already tough days. Let's delve further into how being a mom changes stress, how you process it, how you experience it, and your overall level. What do moms think?
It evolves. So I think your stress in life is ever evolving. You go from stressing about when you're young, the things that you stress about, whether it's getting into college, getting a degree, or getting a job in the degree that you earned, that was a big one for me, to getting promoted. When you have kids, it's a different kind of stress.
There's some things that come along with having an only child that is different than having multiple children. You can't send your daughter off to play with her siblings. There are no siblings. You become the sibling. So not only are you trying to do the laundry, make dinner, clean up around the house, but also you're playing Legos at the same time. So those kind of things, compound the lack of time you have for what needs to get done in a 24-hour period of time.
Becoming a mom forces whatever stress you have to evolve, and oftentimes that means that stress grows. Modern-day mothers are not only expected to hold full-time jobs at work, but also full-time workload at home for free. Not only is there a new wave of stress, but it's coming from all different angles, and society and mothers may not be exactly prepared to deal with this. Moms are, in fact, the most stressed out major population in the US today. Now, some moms can work out the ways to deal with this stress, but others can't. Either way, the increase in workloads moms experience can put them at massive risk for anxiety and depression. With all these problems laid out, let's actually start solving them. We've already established that moms have very little free time in their schedule. And we're not claiming to be experts here at Engage, but our hope is that we can inspire discussions among other mothers so that they can come together, form a committee, form a group, find other maternal friends to work out their issues in ways that they can see themselves doing this. The amount of time that they can set aside for relaxing is limited at best, or even non-existent at worst. To fix this, mothers can use supporting apps, blogs, and strategies to reorganize their schedules. Facebook is one such app and can be used to receive helpful contacts and access points to support groups. Now, there's obviously a lot more out there. Moms can use blogs like Working Mom Magic to get helpful tips about how to better structure their time and schedules. Also remember that later on in this podcast, you will be presented with a full list of helpful organizations that we've actually reached out to provide resources. Now, here's some recommendations from Jennifer Morrison and Miss Olsen for scheduling.
I'm Jennifer Morrison. I teach the biomedical science courses here at Bethel High School. I have a calendar that I share with my ex, and so when it comes to anything that involves the kids, we have a shared calendar between us, so that helps with communication. I think that's a really big one with single moms, especially is being able to communicate effectively with their child's father, so that things can get accomplished. It allows for there not to be any surprises. And then just communicating who's going to take care of what and when.
I always find shortcuts. Having 4 kids, I'm not going to the grocery store every night at the end of the week. Like, I do a lot of my shopping online and just pick it up at the grocery store. And I know that kind of stresses a lot of people out because they get feedback from friends like, oh, bruise the produce. But, what's a couple bruised apples compared to like your sanity?
That's very helpful. But I am a list person, so not only does the calendar help me keep track of just what does my day look like tomorrow, but also I create lists, and that really helps because as I get done with something, I can cross it off my list and kind of feel accomplished that, oh look, I got one more thing done in this endless list that ends up happening. So that also kind of helps as well, because when you look at the list, even if it's kind of crazy looking, at least you have some idea and surprises don't come up, and it helps you kind of manage your expectations for the day a little bit better when you can see what you have on your plate.
Childcare can be an entirely different beast from that of scheduling. How do you take care of your kids and consistently meet their needs? Here's some recommendations. First off, there are often a great many people in your community that would love to help you with your kids, so try asking them for help and perhaps be pleasantly surprised by the answers you receive. Secondly, it never hurts to ask friends or family to try and create a system with them, or just to take one night so that you can have a date night out. There's nothing to be ashamed of in asking for help, especially for those that care for you. Thirdly, try using networks, resources, and advisory specialists to assist you.
If there's a really stressful situation in the house and your kids are too little and you can't leave the house, then you go shut yourself into a room and you calm down. You should seek out others so that you can talk to them about it. Not put your burdens on people, but just talk to them about it. And whether that's somebody that is a friend of yours that you trust, or maybe a counselor, that you should absolutely talk about if you're going through that kind of stress before you seek coping mechanisms that are not healthy for yourself, or you do something that you're going to regret.
One of the hardest parts of being a mom is the mental burden. There is so much to do in each day and so little time to do it. This mental burden and the problems it causes needs to be dealt with. But before they can be dealt with, they need to be addressed and accepted in public. There's nothing wrong with experiencing mental difficulties, even if you're the most maternal, best scheduling mom. It doesn't matter. Everybody will experience mental illness or difficulties in their mood at some point in their life. It doesn't say anything about your ability as a parent.
We will be back with more Reach In, Reach Out. Here at Engage, we reached out to Pierce County nonprofits in the hopes of finding resources to help stressed mothers. The National Alliance on Mental Health offers mental health services for mothers looking for assistance with coping with their stress. Their mission is to improve the quality of life of all affected by mental illness by providing education, support, and advocacy for families and the wider community. Sound Outreach provides compassionate guidance and beneficial tools for individuals and communities to move from financial insecurity to financial wellness and prosperity. They provide financial training and other financial assistance services in the Pierce County area to address financial burden, the most common source of stress in working moms. Hope Sparks aims to strengthen families by inspiring courage and confidence to make a lasting change. They provide parental education services, counseling, and child development services to help reduce stress induced by family issues. Now, back to more Reach In, Reach Out.
We've talked about me time before, and I'll say it again. You need some time for yourself. Time where you can relax in a calm place, away from the tensions of the outside world. Read a book, watch Netflix, maybe have a bubble bath. That one's very popular on blogs. Just relax and be you.
Taking care of myself now becomes more of a priority. In my younger life, I would take care of everybody else before myself, but now I take care of me first, and giving myself some time to reflect on the day before making dinner or doing the laundry or doing whatever I need to do has actually given me more energy to be able to get those things done. Before I would just rush in and start working on everything, and really nothing ever got done. Now it's calmer.
One of my ways that I de-stress is run. So I run a lot, and that really helps alleviate a lot of stress. I have a shirt that says I run to burn the crazy off, and I think that a lot of that is true. You get a lot of endorphins through running, and those just make you a little bit happier, and that just helps with the de-stress.
I read a lot. I guess that's my stress relief. Like before bed, like I usually read for an hour or two. So everybody goes to bed at 8, whether they go to sleep or not. And so I'm in bed reading for a while. Or my husband and I try to schedule a date night every week. And it's just the two of us, whether it's home or away, like it's time for the two of us to just kind of like unwind and talk. And I usually find like talking to him or like friends or family about like what is stressing me out helps.
But when the stress reaches the point where these strategies stop working, or preferably even before then, you should reach out to professionals and counselors to get you through this as painlessly as possible. This is what they're there for. Again, there is no shame in asking for assistance, especially from a professional.
You don't have to be everything to everybody all at the exact same time. I think you can be everything to one topic at a time instead of putting all your eggs in one basket and then the basket drops. The other thing is there are other people in the community that are there that you don't even know would be supportive. I think hooking up with somebody, another mom, single mom, or not a single mom, that you can trade off maybe childcare services so that you can go to the grocery store without your children in tow, could be your quiet time. And then you could do the same for the other person. Is a way that you can come up with some time plus doing what you need to do.
I think that there needs to be easier ways for women to get counseling and cheaper. I mean, obviously, if you have insurance, that's great, it's paid for. But if you don't, then out of pocket on insurance out of pocket to see somebody can be pretty expensive, and so I think there should be more opportunities for that. But then also just reaching out in other ways, like finding outlets where moms can get together, who might be going through the same things, and that are free events, and be able to participate in those and get to know other women. I think as you get older, you have a more difficult time finding friendships, just because, I don't know why, but some people do. And kids make friends like nobody's business. So having more opportunities for moms, I think, would be really awesome.
Moms, you deserve this help. You have done so much to maintain not only your family, not only your coworkers, but also every single person in this world. So please, take the opportunities we have presented to help yourself. Links to all the resources mentioned in this podcast and more are in the description. Our mission is to strengthen the community of Pierce County. Every 2 weeks, we will be releasing a new podcast, bringing attention to different issues and opportunities to get involved in Pierce County, with the ultimate goal of increasing volunteerism. Until next time, this is Logan Roselle with Reach In, Reach Out, signing off.